You must prepare now. Remember, first they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. Now we're in the regulation and joining phase. I'm going to break down how they're transitioning now from cryptocurrencies of fraud to regulation, and when do we implement this and how do we control it. So my name is Coach Jay Vito. What I work to do is make the macro and micro complex strategies very simple. I want to share with you guys, very, very important. I've been getting a lot of messages. The book is going through beta tests right now. I get thousands of messages a week asking Coach JB, what's your blueprint? What do you do? So I wrote a book about it. It's completely free download, which should be released early next week to the public. So it'll be completely free, downloadable PDF. So you can download it on your computer and read it right away. That'll be coming out next week. Also, if you want to set up a free consultation with my Index Universal Life team, understanding tax code 7702, tax-free retirement. Often people call it the infinity banking concept. It's one of our pillars of wealth, how we secure, compound, and grow our wealth. It's how the wealthy secure their money. They teach you how to insure your life, but not your money. There's a reason behind that. So click the link down below to set up a free consultation with my team. Give us about 48 hours to respond. We are getting hundreds of appointments per week. So our team is doing the best we can. I have a licensed agent in all 50 states now. So it's a free conversation. We will never proactively DM you. Those are all scammers. Okay. And proactively DM you. If you're talking to me, it's not me, guys. I will never proactively DM you. I'll never ask about your investments. I'll never ask you to send me money. Be very, very careful with that stuff. Any influencer out there is not going to DM you, proactively and ask you about your portfolio. So please be very, very careful. All right, so let's dive right into it. So, happy Friday, by the way, to everybody. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down a few things. Okay, so the Bank of International Settlements is the bank of banks. You have the G20, which I'm going to break down those member countries. We also just did a lot of reporting on the BRICS, right? So BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, just added 6 countries to it. They're working to de-dollarize. They're creating their own monetary system, a digital monetary system. And many of the countries within there are really moving into cryptocurrency. They went from cryptocurrencies of fraud to figuring out how to make cryptocurrency part of their ecosystem. Well, now the G20, which I'm going to show you the countries at the end, are now ramping up. We went from cryptocurrencies of fraud, it's used for nefarious activities, to cryptocurrency is now part of the infrastructure. How do we regulate it? To global recommendations from the BIS, now down to the G20. And then by the end of 2023, we'll have global regulation recommendations. I believe in Q1 2024, we're going to see a Bitcoin ETF get approved, which is going to rush in institutional investors. And then we're going to see a really nice price appreciation from around April, probably a couple 30, 40 days after April, after the Bitcoin halving. We're going to see a massive parabolic move. That's when you want to exit. You want to pull your profits as everybody's coming in, secure, compound, and grow your wealth. Rich parents have rich kids, poor parents have poor kids, middle class families have middle class kids. Until you rewire the foundation, you're going to end up in the same situation. Everybody's waiting for these cryptos to go to 589 or Bitcoin to go to 100,000, thinking it's going to save them. It's only going to exacerbate who you currently are. Freedom is here. Freedom is here. So rewire the foundation to end up in a different situation. That's what the book is all about. It's going to break down how I actually did it in less than 5 years and radically transform my life to financial freedom. All right, so we're going to watch this video really quickly. This is a news station out in, where are we at? G20 Summit. This is CNBC TV 18. I think it's in a different country, but we're going to listen to their little breakdown of the G20 meeting coming up that's extremely important.
Expects the group nations to have a consensus on common cryptocurrency norms. Sapna Das is joining us now with more details. Sapna, tell us, what are your sources telling you?
Well, first of all, so far as the India presidency of G20 is concerned, India has been a major contributor, on very important and a number of topics. For example, even as far as the issue of regulating or managing crypto assets is concerned, it's India that has brought it as part of the G20 agenda. And basically, probably the India presidency is looking forward to the G20 membership agreeing upon a common common template for regulating crypto assets. I think this is going to be very significant going forward. Remains to be seen whether the G20 membership actually agrees to that or not at the summit. That's one. Second.
Okay, so I just wanted you to see that. So what they're agreeing upon is a common template for assets regulation for crypto assets. So do you remember in 2020 we were talking about Jamie Dimon, or 2017 Jamie Dimon, Larry Fink's telling you cryptocurrency is a fraud, but they started to transition their narratives. I've been teaching the game for a very long time. You just have to study the past deeply to see patterns in history. So yes, this is an innovative, earth-shattering, breaking technology. You have to do the opposite of the 99%. There's a reason why 1% of the population owns 97% of the wealth. The wealth always ends up back in the same hands. It doesn't matter if they give $1 million, as Jim Rohn says, to every person in society. If you don't rewire this, hint, it's in my book, if you don't rewire this and change your wealth paradigm, you'll end up in the exact same situation. So this came out from ETH News, September 7th, 2023. Breaking news: G20 welcomes IMF and financial service stability, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. Crypto assets regulation paper. Will it support Ethereum and Ripple, XRP, or kill cryptocurrencies? Guys, they can't kill cryptocurrencies. They can't. They have to move into crypto. It's the only way. It's the new monetary system. I believe they created it, but hey, well, and I think what let me show with you. I'm going to read a statement from the actual financial stability paper. I'm going to actually show you the actual document. Okay. So this is from the BIS, Bank of International Settlements. This was on May 17, 2023. I've already showed you guys this, but I wanted to kind of walk you through the step process so you see, so you don't get caught up in the micro and the emotion of the markets, right? So BIS gave global recommendations that, the G20, we talked about the G20 was going to be meeting. Now they're going to be meeting to see if they're going to accept these global regulations. They don't have a choice, family. They have to accept these regulations, because no matter what, if they don't, the traditional banking system is going to completely break down, because we can create our own system. They know that, but they're going to try to choke everything off and run it all through one system. Okay. So you have to really muddle your way through this mud in this game and see how this ends up, right? But we know the money's always going to end up in the same hands. So we have to figure out, where is this going to be? Which cryptocurrencies are going to be here? Because when this regulatory framework comes out, a lot of these exchanges are no longer going to be here. Number one, these off-brand exchanges, a lot of these influencers that created cryptocurrency projects are going to get smashed by regulation, right? They can stand as tall as they want, but when it comes to, we worked with the SEC lawyers in regards to creating 503Bs, 503B, my CFO does it, but the 503Bs, because we do, we help. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We worked with SEC lawyers, or the no SEC law, in order to set things up properly through regulation, because we've set up 503Bs before, which is getting non-accredited investors into investments, right, through our community. It's a lot of legal framework, guys, a lot of legal framework, and it costs a lot of money to do it correctly based on their rules and their regulations, right? Is it per se correct in what we want? No, but I'm sharing with you guys, be very, very careful what you invest in. Make sure you can measure it. Make sure you can see the leadership team. Make sure you understand, is it going to be here in the future? Is it actually making a real world solve? Okay. I hope that made sense, but I just wanted to make it very clear. I just don't want you guys to get caught up in bullshit and, this hype train, and just be an intelligent investor through this. I'd hate seeing people lose money. It drives me freaking crazy. So G20 chair India says talks underway for global framework on crypto rules, as was on September 4th. All right, so let's dive into the nitty gritty. Let's get into the boring stuff here. This is the stuff that excites me, the boring stuff, okay? So this is actually from the document from the IMF and the Financial Stability Board. It's the synthesis paper on policies for crypto assets. This is on page 36. The international and standard setting bodies have taken forward more granular analytic and policy framework by exploring issues unique to SSB's mandate, okay? In March 2022, IOSCO published a detailed report setting out how DeFi is quickly evolving to mirror conventional financial markets. IOSCO 2022, the report offers a comprehensive review on the fast evolving DeFi markets, including its products, services, and principal participants. It identifies some aspects that are novel, but concludes that most DeFi products, services, and activities replicate more traditional financial products, services, activities, but they participate outside of or in non-compliance with applicable regulatory frameworks, creating risk for investors. That's the part I want to read to you guys. So this is what's going to happen. So they are going to come up with a framework. There is many companies like Ripple, XLM, many products and services that match the traditional banking system, where the public and private sector to come together. Guys, if you followed some of the speeches that Trump made a long time ago, he talked about there's going to be an even playing field. He talked about the destruction of the dollar and the devaluing. He didn't use that word. He said the dollar, he's worried about the devaluation of the dollar. He said we will be on an even playing field, guys. The monetary system is going to be an even playing field. The borders are going to break down in the monetary system. Money is going to move through the system very different, very fast, very efficiently. Okay. That's where we're at right now. You're seeing a transition. All the FUD, all the fear is part of slowing the public down so that the public doesn't get into this very opportunity to get really wealthy, actually. Okay. They're saying they're protecting us. But if we get into the right cryptos, some of you guys are going to be millionaires. Some of you guys might be billionaires. It just really depends. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, so this is the recommendations here. So recommendation 1, regulatory powers and tools. Recommendation 2, general regulatory framework. Recommendation 3, cross-border cooperation, coordination, and information sharing. Cross-border, governance, risk management, data collection, recording, and reporting, disclosures, addressing financial stability risk arising from interconnections and interdependence, comprehensive regulation of crypto services providers with multi-functions. Okay. Recommendations, authorities' readiness to regulate and supervise global stablecoin arrangements, comprehensive oversight of GSC activities and functions, cross-border cooperation, coordination, and information sharing, governance structures and decentralized operations, risk management. I mean, when I went to CBA Executive Banking School, this is basically the setup of a bank, man, the new banking system. This is what it is, okay? So this is the G20. If you're wondering, the G20 is meaning people may not know what the G20 is. So these are the countries that are in the G20. You got the United States, you got India, we got Australia, United Kingdom, China, Japan. We got all these different countries in the G20, okay? We got Saudi Arabia, Brazil, South Africa. So that's the G20, which is the countries that are meeting around global regulation. So very important to understand what is happening here. So as we sit, we're in a broken financial system. Okay, we're at the 100-year, we're at the Jubilee right now. We're at the 1 year after the Shemitah. I believe, not financial advice, my opinion, the markets are going to get pulled back big time. So people who have been saving for a very long time in their 401k or about a retirement age, the 401k is a tax code. The 401k is not designed to make you wealthy, guys. Study tax code 7702, which is tax-free retirement through insurance, which was created in 1913 when the Federal Reserve was created. And you got tax code 401k. The creator of the 401k said he created a product, I'm paraphrasing, that made Wall Street wealthier. Guys, think about that for just a moment. If you were doing pensions back then, which the American dream was alive, when they detached from the gold standard, and since 1913 the Federal Reserve was created, our dollar's just devalued. You wouldn't want a pension for your people because you're giving away money that is just devalued, right? You're crushing your financial what would you call that? Your spreadsheets, your man, my brain is out of function right now. Anyways, my point behind all of this, I'm gonna take a deep breath. There we go. My point behind this is the greatest time in human history to free your family. Now, I want to make this warning every single time. If you don't rewire the foundation, you're going to end up in the same situation. That's why I wrote the book. That's why I'm releasing it to the public. That's why I'm going to get it in as many hands as possible, because I'm going to show you exactly how I rewired the foundation, what I did, and then how I diversified. Okay. Crypto was my only strategy for a while until I met Wise Counsel. Okay. And then when I went and met Wise Counsel, I started to diversify, because cryptocurrency is cryptocurrency is actually a smaller portion of my investment strategy now. It's a speculative asset that I will gain a large amount of wealth from, and I'll secure, compound, and grow. The first cycle was setting up my family for financial freedom. Done. Now we have the foundation set up. Second cycle is generational wealth, right? We'll do that through insurance. We'll do that through trust. We'll do that through all the different things as we continue to grow. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. That's all I got for you. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.